I think this is when I was supposed to be going. Facilities. Facilities can be a somewhat polarizing topic. You ask some people and they think a building is a monumental, foundational part of church growth, and church activity. You ask others, not so much. Don't need a facility. Facilities are a boat anchor around the progress, if you will, the mission, the actual doing of church. We could get by perhaps with just a full-time spot at Caribou for Ron, Ben, and then a storage unit. It's plausible. Maybe a virtual office. I don't know. They're pretty popular now. But in and amongst that, you get a wide range of views. Our vision, which we talked about, and our mission should be reflected in our facility. Our facility should be a reflection of the vision and facilitate the mission. Let that sit for a second, because we've just heard about our mission and vision. I will say that this church is probably as good as I've ever seen it at reaching out to people, seeing a need, meeting a need, utilizing their own home, if you will, and what they have to be able to bring people into church, and very, very good at it. We've talked about not wanting to be programmatic. We've talked about not wanting to be about a facility, but about people. So keep that in mind. But also, facilities can be a very substantial help to building homes of faith and being able to reach the community. Now, the elders and the staff built this list of things about the facility. And as I looked at these, I saw them in two very unique orders. Could you hit the next slide, please? There we go. The vision. And that's what I had just talked about, facilitating the mission. Looking at what we were lacking, which was one group, and what are we missing, second group. First group, what are we missing, meaning things that we're doing now that we may not be doing as well as we could or can't do because the facility is prohibiting us from being able to make that happen. Missing is something that we're not able to do currently because we don't have a place or don't have a facility that we can make that happen. Next slide, please. Oh, back up, please. Sorry. What are we missing? Youth. Our youth is growing. Our church is growing. And so being able to meet in the garage is becoming more and more difficult. We have young, energetic, young men and women, and it can get a little smelly in there. Yes, indeed. Not gonna lie. If you don't believe me, go see sometime. As far as men and women's groups or being able to have functions there, the room is a little bit difficult. It also requires a great deal of setup and takedown. We also have other group meetings where we have conflicts, unable to do that, or just the size and the space is not able to accomplish that. When I talk about room-ready space, having to budget in your time when you're going to have something with a 45-minute setup, do whatever it is that you're doing, and then take it down and put it back the way it was. You know, nobody said this life was going to be easy, but that can be a prohibiting factor. People are like, I don't have the time. I can come in and I can do the class, but I don't have the time to be able to do 3.5 hours. I have time to do 45 minutes. But to be able to get that room ready, make it presentable, to be able to accomplish what I need, teach the class or have the event, clean it up and put it back the way it was, I can't do that, okay? Then there was another group of things. What are we missing? Next slide, please. Now this is more of a, let's dream a little bit. Let's think about what it could be. Think about a gathering place, a place that's safe, a place that's fun, a place that you would want to invite somebody to, and that you would be excited about inviting someone to. Excitement is a very big part of the puzzle, because if you're not excited about it, whoever you're going to invite's not going to be excited about it unless you are. So it needs to be something that you're going to be motivated to use, and people are going to be motivated to come to. Recreational space, effective energetic bodies being able to do whatever it is that they do in that space. Just a thought. Another one, smart room. It's a buzzword, but what it is it's a room ready to be able to handle a presentation, to be able to handle an elective, teaching. Think about bringing in people for a financial class, being able to put an ad in the paper and say, we're going to do this, English as a second language on Tuesday nights, be able to teach auditorium style or to be able to give a presentation. Meeting rooms, think about this in terms of financial counseling, marriage counseling, tutoring, homework groups, things like that. Smaller rooms where you're going to be able to work on a smaller basis with people, to be able to have that privacy, be able to host exhibits. This is another outreach opportunity to be able to reach out to the community and say, you can do this here, bring this here. And then you're going to get people that are going to be able to come and find out a little bit more about the sanctuary and be able to find out what's going on here by the very fact that we're hosting something, okay? Worship arts room, I just put that in for myself. The thing is that I believe, next slide, please. I believe that whatever we do, we need to do it bathed in prayer and seeking God's will. If God wants that trailer to follow my truck for the next 20 years, so be it. I'm fine with that. I love that trailer. It's, you know, it's like a part of me now. I have no problem, and I see many people getting up very early on Sunday morning, and they do it with great joy. It's not, you know, it's not like they're, oh, well, maybe some days, but for the most part, it's with great joy and enthusiasm. So it's not like we have to spare people from things. But what I want you to consider is we've been very good at being able to take care on the inside of what, once people come into the sanctuary, being able to take care of their needs. What I think we may want to look at is what it's going to look like to be able to look outward into the community and figure out how we can serve and meet the needs of the community. And so as I've been talking to Chip Webster, who's been working with his team about what next steps, where we think we might be able to land financially as well as to meet our physical needs at this point in time, not to say that this is etched in stone or this is how it's going to happen. We think 5,000 to 7,000 square feet would be within our budget and something that we would be able to do well and accomplish, be able to meet what we're missing or meet what we're lacking and be able to do some of the things that we're missing. That doesn't mean that 20,000 square feet is out of the question, but this is where, right now, at this moment in time, this is where I think we would land, okay? We need to be able to look at this and remain open. It's not something that we can say, okay, this is where we're going to go, and then go do it. As long as we remain open, because God's been known to change the roadmap. He's also been known to change the road signs and create a few detours along the way. And we need to be open to that and willing to walk down it. It's going to be a faith step, I think, for us, okay? So we need to be willing to take that step and see what's out there. Lastly, and most importantly, prayer. Because you are the body that God is going to use to help us figure out where it is that we're going to go. And through you, we're going to hear what God's telling us to do and where God's telling us we need to go. And so we ask you humbly to continue to pray and continue to seek God as to what he has for us as it relates to facilities. Okay? Any questions?